Hello, and welcome to our Cerenade video. In this video, we will introduce our intake form wizard for forms like the I-130, the I-90, and the I-944. What this intake form wizard does is it allows to answer questions on forms like the I-944 in questionnaire format. But additionally, this can be shared with your client in the client portal to supply info on that form. Once you accept the intake form wizard, it can then be transferred onto the actual form. Let us show you how by accessing our caseworker portal. Once inside, we will access a case profile. Once inside the case profile, we will go to our form section. We will then proceed to add forms. For our example, we will use the I-944. When we search for it, we will see the I-944 form, and we will also see the intake form wizard. We will add both to our case. Now, before we start working on the intake form wizard, a bit of info. We highly recommend using our other questionnaires first to gather info such as names, personal info, addresses, and so on. Once you've established a client profile with info, we then recommend using this intake form wizard, as the wizard asks for additional questions not asked on the client profile, but can be transferred into the I-944 form. The I-944 intake form wizard only transfers into the I-944 form, not into the client profile or other forms. Let us continue. If you wish to enter info into this intake form wizard, in similar fashion as other forms, you will simply open the intake wizard form, and once inside, proceed to manually enter info to the right. By default, it will list anyone you have linked as the alien. But if wanting to auto-populate someone else, you can click on the red select button and proceed to replace the alien with other members that have been linked to the case by clicking on their name. Once you have the correct client, you will notice some info is already there. That info has been auto-populated from the client's profile. It is now up to you to enter info on blank areas. Once finished, you will save and exit this intake form wizard. Now, if you want this info to transfer onto the actual 944 form, you will focus on the icons to the left. You will see one that says Transfer Data to Associated Forms. When clicked, the I-944 will be an option. When selecting it, the I-944 form will now have info you previously entered in the I-944 intake form wizard. Now, what we just saw was you using the intake form wizard. But what about sending this to your clients? To do so, we will email the form as editable HTML by clicking on the checkbox to the left and selecting Email as Editable HTML. An email template will appear, where you will select the client, enter any specific notes in the body, and finalize by clicking Email. The client will now have the I-944 intake form wizard in the client portal, similarly to how they would answer questionnaires. Your client will log in using their credentials. They will see that they have items in their mailbox. They will proceed to enter and answer the intake wizard form. Once finished supplying their info, they will click on Submit. Once submitted, you will see that item has appeared in your mailbox where you can review it. You will then accept it. And once accepted, you will come back onto the case profile and in similar fashion, click on the Transfer Data button where you will select the I-944 you have on this case. The next time you open the I-944, it will now have info the client has supplied via the intake form wizard. Now, some of these intake form wizards like the I-130 and the I-90 are e-fileable. If interested, below is a link showing you how to e-file. You must have the optional module e-file to be able to do this. This concludes our video on the intake form wizard. Hit the subscribe button to be alerted when new videos come out and be informed of new features like this one. Thank you for watching.